are leaving Corfu and saying goodbye to Greece today, heading across the channel to Albania. Goodbye Corfu town, it's been great. It's a funky looking boat. Our theory is that it unloads on one side and loads up on the other, and it doesn't have to turn around. It just ferries back and forth all day long, just like a little train car. Just like a little train car. Who knows? Pretty cool.
So leaving Corfu, turned the starboard engine, nothing. It had been a little slow to start. I had all kinds of problems last year with the port engine. The key was sticky. I ended up burning a few starters over there where I just left it on. So I'm for sure going to replace the key if nothing else. I'm going to go down right now and check and see what the battery voltage situation is, but I've got a couple spare starters on the boat, and I think it's time for me to throw one on the starboard side as well. That puppy is old, and I think I'm just going to start it fresh, although if I had to guess, the key is actually the problem. But one step at a time.
Down into the depths he goes. We are motoring along at about 4 knots. So we've got 8 knots of wind on our nose, and it is super calm and sunny and beautiful out here today as we make our 3-hour journey from Greece to Albania, heading around the backside of Corfu. Our nose is pointed right at our destination. You can see it kind of nestled in the mountains there in front of us. A place that we never thought we would go, but the weather is pretty nasty leaving Greece, heading up to Montenegro, which was our plan. Got a lot of strong wind for days channeling down through the Ionian, through the I'll get there. It's the not the Ionian, not the Aegean, the Adriatic. There we go. So we're gonna hunker down and spend some time in Albania. We've heard really good things about it. It's a place that we've never dreamed that we'd go to, and the fates have led us there. So we will see what we see and hopefully enjoy it.
Yay! Here we come, Albania!
So I got the panel apart, and I'm going to switch the key out first, but now that I've got it apart, it's cranking, which makes it seem like a battery problem, which I really don't think it is. I'm going to change the key just because I know it's old and sticky and I don't want it to stick on, which will fry the starter. Hey all, Nate coming to you from the future. When I say that the key gets sticky, I want to explain what I mean. So this is a starter, and there's always a big fat wire connected to the battery, and then a little wire that comes in here that comes from the key. So there's always 12 volts going to the starter, but the thing is that when you turn the key, it tells this to come out, engage the engine, spin and start it up, and then when that's done, this comes back in and disengages. So the key, you turn it on and then crank it, and then it comes back. If it doesn't go back, then it continually tells this to pull a bunch of amps and have this engage the engine, which once it gets going, this then just becomes a generator and eventually will burn itself up. And that's what I had happen on the port side, so that's why the key, just a little spring in the key to have it come back once you've started, it was getting a little sticky. The key's years and years and years old. So that's why I swapped that out, and that's the harm it can do if the key constantly says start, start, start to the starter, why that'll be harmful. New key wired up. I'm gonna try it. One of 3 things is gonna happen. Either nothing, or the engine will start, or the engine will crank and not start. I guess that's 3 already, and then 4 is some kind of catastrophe I don't even want to think about. Okay. So I got the key wired up correctly. It was good for me to change that, but I've still got other issues, either battery or starter or both, probably one or the other. But so now back to the engine room I go.
Whew, no catastrophe. While we are underway and Nate is problem solving some stuff in the engine room, I'm on watch, but I'm also doing a little spring cleaning. Oh yeah, getting out our fins and our masks, getting ready for summertime. We are ready to get back into those beautiful blue waters.
All right, all done here. I'll have my assistant clean this up.
Doctor's taking his bag of tools, exiting the ER. Man, we have come out of the lee of Corfu and we are getting blasted by wind and choppy water and tons of boat traffic. There are cargo ships and these mini cruise ships going by all the time. It's crazy. Whew. Got 21 knots just off our front quarter there. She's windy. We need to take that Greek flag down. Like an airplane without wings, and it's up on foils. The hull is not even touching the water. It's crazy.
Almost June and it's still chilly.
Yeah! That is one crazy fool right there. Saranda Harbor Master. Saranda Harbor Master. This is Sailing Vessel Scout. Sailing Vessel Scout.
Yes, Sailing Vessel Scout. Master here.
Hello, we are approaching the harbor.
Okay.
Thank you. That was easy.
All right, round two for the day. It is 6 p.m. We're going to check into Albania. Let's see how the time and effort compares to checking out of Greece. All right, there we go.
Woohoo!
All right, all of like 15 minutes later, we are checked in, customs, immigration, everything. Met right at the dinghy dock by an agent, which charges next to nothing. It's fantastic. I can't remember the last customs and immigration experience I have had that has been that smooth, that cheap, that easy. Singapore wasn't that cheap, but it was that easy. I agree with that. So here we are in Albania. We are free to cruise and I am excited. If you're like me, the entirety of your knowledge about Albania comes from this scene in Cheers.
Albania, Albania, you border on the Adriatic. Your land is mostly mountainous, and your chief export is chrome.
As comprehensive as the late, great Ernie Pantuso is, surely there's more to Albania. And to start our discovery, we head inland to the historic town of Gjirokastër, which started as many settlements do, as a fortification over lush farmland. 1,500-year-old structure. We're wandering around, beautiful mountains in the background. It is nice to get the diversity. I love the sea, but I love some elevation ups and downs too.
Yeah, look at that valley. Look at all that farmland. Gosh.
So that's the floodplain, and they would grow their cereals, etc. down there. And villages were on the foothills to reserve that for both growing, but also the foothills were more defensible. And only recently have there started to be structures grown down on the valley floor.
Ancient chimneys on the rooftop of this beautiful old castle and fortress. We are constantly amazed how liberal they are here with just allowing people to come and climb, traverse, risk their lives on the edge of these ancient structures. It is liberating, and it just makes you feel more free to explore and to kind of get a sense of what it was really like to live here. Although that is really hard to really wrap your mind around the fact that people actually lived here, worked here, slept here, played here. But it is beautiful surroundings, and this makes Mommy a little nervous, but there's the edge right there. Whew.
Albania has been controlled by one foreign power or another, from Rome to Constantinople to the Ottoman. Finally gaining independence in 1912, Albania's borders were picked at by its neighbors until it fell under Italian and then German control in World War II.
Yeah, let's get the heck out of there. That was really dark and creepy. I would not want to be stuck in there for a long period of time.
After the war, Albania became a communist state under the leadership of a strong man who ran the country for 40 years. Diplomatic fallouts with Russia and then China, the primary communist powers, and poor relations with the West during the Cold War led Albania to being extremely isolated and paranoid about invasion. In response, the country built bunkers, lots of them. Bunkers everywhere in Albania, everywhere. At one point there was a bunker for every 4 people. Be almost 100 million bunkers in the United States at that ratio. Not only machine gun pillbox style, but large underground bunkers of all styles. In Girocaster, there's a tunnel complex nearly 1 kilometer long built to house the government in case of nuclear attack. The leaders were actually more concerned with a nuclear attack and invasion from Russia than the United States.
Very heavy door.
Heaviest door you'd ever moved, I would imagine.
What does that say right behind you?
No idea.
Maybe that says danger. Danger lurks within. I don't want to go in there. I'm scared. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm out of here.
Mom, come on. What are you doing?
I'm not going in there any further. I'm too scared.
There was a violent change of government in the 1990s, and today Albania is modernizing and opening itself up to visitors. The past is still visible, but it's unquestionably a beautiful place along the Adriatic Sea. So what's it like to cruise here? Well, that's a story for next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.